Opinions expressed are those of the opinions. Opinions expressed are those of the program host and opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, everybody. My name is Noyana Pierre-Lewis, and you are tuning into WSTU 1450, the Martin County's Heritage Station. If you'd like to call in, the number is 220-WSTU or 220-9788. And I just have to warn you, today we do have a guest caller who will be calling in today, which I hope you guys do look forward to. But before we jump into all of that, I'd like to start off with some opening questions. That being our first, I have 3 opening questions. But the first one being, what is the purpose of life? Because you see, I've been asking this question for a while since my IB friends and I, we've all just kind of been going through this rough burnout period, and we just took a major Spanish test today, which is going to contribute to our diploma. And a lot of us were kind of just like, why are we here? Why do we choose to put ourselves through so much misery since IB is not fun in a sense, right? And I kind of asked this question, and my dad, while he was working one random weekend, it was the weekend of the show actually, and he met this man who he put on the phone. He was like, "Hey, I met this person. He has an answer to your question," and he told me that the purpose of life was satisfaction, which is an answer I've never really heard before because everybody's always like happiness. It's kind of like the same generic answers that you get with last week's question that I asked with what does true success look like. So I'd like to hear your guys' opinion. I know, very deep, since John, you are very young and I'm very young, but
right,
I'd like to hear.
Got to pot up my mic. Number 5. Put the slide. Oh, there it is. So you hear sound when you do that. Very good. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's the journey as much as, because you have to have a destination in mind. Mm-hmm. You don't work hard unless you have a destination in mind. Mm-hmm. And when you get to that destination, it's good, but I think the journey is what's so exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you got a line buzzing there.
Oh,
so look at that. There's somebody calling in.
Nice.
So we want to
Maybe
push
they
on
have
that.
an answer to my question.
Yeah.
Nice.
See how difficult that is?
Yeah. Anyways, continuing on. I had a friend who said a similar answer. As she said, the purpose of life is simply experience, since that's where we gain all of our knowledge. That is how we learn from everything. Oh, hello, caller. How are you?
Well, good. I'm actually eating at my workbench because I wanted to hear your show.
Nice.
Very cool.
This is, as you know, Palm City Charlie.
Yes. Welcome aboard, Charlie.
I have my segment on Bob Steele for you. I did not forget. I hope you enjoy it. But continue.
I'm looking forward to it. He was on the air for 50 years. He used to do the word of the day.
Yes, I have a word of the day for you.
Yeah, he was a legend in the Hartford area, and I'm sure there's a lot of Connecticutites in the Stewart Treasure Coast that are listening, and I hope they enjoy it because Bob Steele was a genius in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right.
Learned.
So I'm looking forward. And as far as what was your question? What is the
It's
what
what
I
is
like
the
to
purpose
do
of life?
is as an old person
Mm-hmm.
that has I was very successful, so I now help people.
Nice.
That's a big pleasure of mine to help people,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me happy because other people get happy, and when other people are happy, I'm happy.
So basically, the purpose of life is simply helping others. Then.
Well, that's what my life has developed. I was very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I became a sales manager. I used to run health clubs. I taught school for 1 year, 4th grade. God bless those children.
Nice.
1973, probably before you were alive, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I lived through getting napalm dropped on me in Vietnam and rockets and everything else.
Wow.
So I believe in the Lord because I did a lot of praying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know
And,
the aphorism,
go.
right? There are no atheists in foxholes.
No, there are not.
Yeah, that's
There are
true.
not. I had a friend of mine, Dominic Donatone, my partner. He grew up in Brooklyn in an Italian family. I guess Dominic Donatone, maybe,
Yeah.
And we jumped into this place while we were getting mortared. And Dominic was praying in Italian. And I said, Dom, say a prayer for me, brother. A mortar landed right next to us.
Wow.
But we were behind a knee wall. You know what a knee wall is?
No, I do not.
In Vietnam, the graves look like sombreros. You know what a sombrero looks like?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
yes.
They would bury the dead in a kneeling position, from what we were told.
Mm.
Oh my.
And our grave happened to be cement, thank the Lord, because a lot of them were rocks, dirt,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then they dropped napalm, and we went to a hedgerow.
Mm.
It was quite exciting. I'll never forget it.
I bet so.
Wow.
Oh, Cobra helicopters working out. Here comes a jet dropping napalm. Very exciting. It was the NBA, and we were a company.
Wow.
101st used to jump out of planes. Now I go scuba diving.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess that's just life, huh? Interesting.
That's life. See, I enjoy my life because I worked my butt off and I saved. My very first raise, I saved the whole raise. Second raise, a half. Invested in the market. I'm a capitalist. Too bad, huh? That's why I can help other people.
Nice. Well, thank you so
I
much.
think you are tremendous. Whether you want to be an attorney, you have a bubbly personality. John is a nice young man.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
go, John.
Yeah, you guys will go far. But don't believe everything you hear on the news, because a lot of it's propaganda.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your response. Thank you for sharing your
All right.
experiences. That's always
All right.
appreciated.
Well, I will get off the phone and I will turn back my radio on and I will listen to you.
Nice. Thank you.
As I'm eating my chicken outside, al fresco.
Well, enjoy.
All right. Very good, guys.
Thanks,
Have
Charlie.
a wonderful day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.
Bye.
And John, do you have an answer for us to that question? What is the purpose of life?
For me, mostly, it's kind of, I'm more involved in knowledge base, so I want to learn basically everything. But
Nice.
that would fall under satisfaction, and I completely agree with that. Because I mean,
Nice.
like, if I'm sitting around doing nothing, I'm going to be like, I'm doing nothing, and I feel unfulfilled. But when I do something, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, kind of like working the board here today, right?
Oh yeah,
Is that fulfilling?
Yes.
it's nice and cool.
Yes.
It's very different from being on the opposite end.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can imagine. All right, then. Next question is, what are your thoughts on the idea of people never change, they just show their true colors? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The expression is a zebra never changes its stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, breaking it down, like when I first read this, I mean, of course, I've only been on this earth for 17 years, so I have yet to experience all that people have to offer and all the true colors of human nature, I guess. So, what does that look like? Like, what was the first thing that popped to your head, Mr. Frank?
Say the question again so that I can.
So basically, what are your thoughts or feelings surrounding the idea of people never change?
Mhm.
They just show their true colors.
Yeah, I think that's true. People, their nature is their nature from birth. You
Mhm.
know, you can see children, newborns, and as they become toddlers and adolescents, they give you a notion as to where their head is at and what's exciting it to them, of interest to them. And as they grow up and start communicating, they just start to develop those skills even more fully. But everybody has their own unique nature. I have 3 kids; they're all uniquely different.
Mm-hmm. Now, when viewing this concept or idea, I couldn't help but think about like the people I might end up working with when I'm older as an attorney, and like the criminal. So in the case as a defense attorney, it's my job to ensure that the verdict is not guilty, regardless if what my client did was actually pretty bad or not.
Well,
Since-
no, I think I don't mean to correct you, but I
No,
think
of
I
course.
am. But I think your job is to make sure that your client gets a fair trial.
Yeah.
Whether he is found guilty or not guilty is out of your hands. Your job is to make sure that all the evidence, all the stones are, turned, and all the evidence is shown, and then other people make those judgments. You merely give your client the best defense that can be offered.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that he can't say, "Oh, my attorney just sat down and let it. I got steamrolled."
Yeah, having an incompetent
Right,
attorney.
right.
Yeah. But like in that sense though, but there's always the morality of should I really be, like this, like what are the odds that this person ends up not guilty when they should kind of be guilty because of the way I argued, and that their true colors are negative, and that there's like throughout the whole entire process of getting a trial and meeting and all this development that should have occurred and it doesn't. That's kind of scary, like believing in the notion that people never change. So, I don't know.
Well, you have to believe in redemption,
Yeah.
and then sometimes bad things happen to good people, and they find themselves in a bad way, but maybe they are good people. That is their nature. And then sometimes they just find themselves in a bad situation. And that's when they need a really good attorney to show that, so that they can, have that opportunity for redemption, at least civilly. But the real redemption comes, spiritually.
Nice.
Right.
Okay. And what do you think, John?
Okay, for me, I was usually told in passing, like, there's many types of people, but everybody is one type of person. So throughout, like, my short life as it is, I'm not as old as everybody else probably listening to this, or they might be younger. I don't know. Like, I kind of resonated with that because I look through my age group and I see certain people, and then I look to adults and I see that same personality or those, like, same ideas being embodied by them. And I'm like, that tends to be, like, the same throughout time. Like, I'll see a child that's from whatever background. I'll see somebody else from a different background. They'll have the same ideals. It can vary differently. But I think as people get older, like after high school, middle school, like during those times, I feel like in the beginning, children are more expressive. They'll express their true personality. But as they get older, they'll try to repress it, kind of like almost like a culture-ish, if that makes sense. Like it was mostly the olden days. You were supposed to be at calm and all that. I feel like that's somewhat true, like even if it's unintentional. Anyways, as we get older, I feel like we try to break out of that and then kind of express ourselves more. So no, it's just some.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're almost touching on is what we're experiencing today is cancel culture. In that people are sometimes afraid to express themselves. They might get canceled, right?
Yeah.
And so they kind of ride the waves but maybe people like Charlie and myself, we're just, we're of the age where we say, this is the way we feel, and we don't frankly care. If people agree, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But I'm free to express myself.
Of
Certainly.
course,
Yeah, I agree.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, touching upon what you also said, I just like what you were saying just brought to mind how like some people are like some adults never grow out of high school, things like that. Interesting.
I was also kind of wanting to touch back on your kind of criminology type thing.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
was also thinking just there can be conflicting emotions within people sometimes. Like your original nature can be absurdly bad. You may be a horrible person in general, but that person can also try to suppress that and be a good person at the same time. I don't know. But it sometimes does come out. I don't know.
No, of course. All right, and the last question is, if you could do anything, knowing that you wouldn't fail, what would you do?
Learn everything.
Learn everything? Aw, you're like a little philosopher. Wait, yeah. Okay, Mr. Frank.
No, I don't know. Say it again.
If you could do anything, knowing that you wouldn't fail, what would you do?
I would not be happy. Because failure is how you learn.
Yes!
Yeah, because that was almost an incongruent comment to me. Because I think the fear of failure is what spurs you on. And I've once heard a philosopher say that, if you're afraid of failure, you will be successful. And, you live out those fears.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect answer. Because I also read something from another philosopher that said misery is a greater teacher than happiness. So good. You guys, yes.
Okay.
Caught on.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now, finally, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. What is cryptocurrency? Something that I have been seeing everywhere, mostly in my household, but I just been hearing cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, all of these different things, and I'm just like, what is this? So, just to give you a quick definition, according to NerdWallet, some website that I found on Google, take it as you please, cryptocurrency is a form of payment that can be exchanged online for goods and services. Many companies have issued their own currencies, often called tokens, and can be traded specifically for the good or service of the company that the company provides. Cryptocurrencies work using a technology called a blockchain, and blockchain is a decentralized technology spread.
We have a caller, actually.
Oh, I wonder who it is. Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Hiya.
Your friend Charlie. Well, I'm very, very heavily invested, and I have stated my feelings to my financial advisor, Morgan Stanley, I deal with. And in any case, I think the cryptocurrency is somehow, and this is kind of weird, maybe you think it's like conspiracy or something.
No, I'm all down for it.
To me, I think it's a way of destroying the dollar, because the U.S. dollar is the currency of the world.
Interesting.
And guess who wants to be the dominant nation financially in the whole world? Do you know who?
China?
Oh, bing, 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 bing.
Wait, I got it right? Oh, yay!
You win the chicken dinner.
Yes.
So I think, honestly, that, I thought the market was overheated. I told my guy, take over my account, because I have something, I think I'm pretty good, but emotions make people do crazy things. You can watch your money go all the way down. I did that with Munder NetNet before you were alive.
Wow.
That was internet. All the internet companies were in one mutual fund. I paid $10 a share, watched it go up to 100, watched it come down to about 10 and sold. So I didn't lose anything. Well, what a dumb thing. But anyway, so that's what I think about cryptocurrency.
All right, thank
I'm
you.
totally against it.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yep.
Charlie.
All right. And I have a grandchild your age.
Aw, how
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
All right, Ben.
All right. You're the best.
Bye.
Thank you for
All right.
calling.
Goodbye.
Anyways, so
We
going back
have
to
another
the blog,
caller.
we do? Oh
Yep.
my. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, it's my guest speaker. Guest speaker, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her to turn off the radio.
Yeah, all right. Hello, I'm Alfredo Gonzalez Tax.
Yes.
I am a junior in high school. I am in IB, like, or the host is, right?
Yeah.
And as you can tell, she has asked me to come here to talk about crypto. At least, I don't know. I'm a very, very novice crypto enthusiast, I guess. Not enthusiast, or like I barely gone into it recently, so I don't know much about it. But like I'm still trying to learn much about it and like see how it can work. Yeah.
Which is good because I asked my dear friend Alfredo to come onto the show to kind of demonstrate how involved IB is and how we like to get our hands onto certain things and how, just how we in general like to get involved in things. And again, crypto was something that I didn't know about, and then I asked around the school, and then Alfredo was just like, yeah, I kind of know a little bit about it. So we were talking one day during lunch, probably after testing, and we discussed Dogecoin, and some questions that I had surrounding just all of this essentially was, do you think cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Dogecoin will replace our economic system within America?
Oh, I personally believe that I don't think it will. At least, okay. The thing about crypto, though, is like Bitcoin, or at least Bitcoin, right? Is that one Bitcoin is worth thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. And even though you can break it up, like have a piece of a Bitcoin and then use that for transactions, it's not, how do I say this? It's not, you can't use it reasonably as we use the dollar. And I feel like I've also heard around, like I've said, I've tried to learn about it, crypto, and now I understand at least Bitcoin itself is not supposed to replace fiat currency, which is I think the word for like things like dollars and euros, or like currency we use in day-to-day exchanges.
Interesting, because I've seen around on the internet how Bitcoin is supposed to become this, I don't know, like a way to revolt against the government or kind of stand up and say, we the people are taking our power back once more by making our own form of money.
I mean, some crypto does seem to seek to do that. Not Bitcoin. The thing is Bitcoin has age. And so no one knew what was going to happen with it. So so that specific example, I don't think will become like fiat currency, but there is crypto that specifically was designed to be securely checked to make sure transactions are real in a way that can replace currency. And I do see the downsides of how having an unregulated currency can damage economies. So I could see why the government would be worried. But as you said, the sentiment that like we also sometimes can't trust like government currency sometimes because due to inflation.
If you would like to hang around, would that be fine?
Sorry, Alfredo. We're
have a
about to go to
break.
break. I tried to let you finish, but we gotta go. But we will keep you on the line so you can finish this lovely discussion. All right? Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right then, and everybody stay tuned, grab a snack, get some water, but we will be back.
Hey, Rocky,
and
watch me
see
pull
ya.
a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
You hear me? You gotta turn on your mic. You gotta turn on your mic. That's number one. Okay. Is he there?
Yeah, I'm texting him right now.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Okay, we're just making sure we're on because Okay. Thank you.
We'll be live in a minute.
Okay, we'll be live in a minute.
That's funny. Don't worry, John. You'll get better. You're doing great.
Okay, so you gotta take the phone out of the queue. There you go.
Yeah, what time do we come back to her?
In like 47 seconds?
Yeah, 40 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instant replay. Bring that up there.
Ah.
And we are back. And John, you're doing great. I believe in you. But we shall get back into our conversation surrounding cryptocurrency with my guest caller, Alfredo Gonzalez Tax. Hopefully, we can get him on the line since we were having a really good discussion about whether or not cryptocurrency would have the power to overrun our government's economic system. So, is he on?
I believe
Go
so.
ahead.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, continuing on, you were talking about how, yes, whether or not crypto would be able to overrun our government. So,
I feel like, yes, it could replace like the currency issued by different governments. But I also feel like that has a lot of pros and cons to it. It's not necessarily something that I feel that is it's not black and white.
as most things aren't, yeah. Continue.
Yeah, because like specifically in Venezuela, right? You know how like they have massive inflation, and their currency is basically dead.
Interesting.
Right? So they use crypto for a lot of transactions over there, or like similar things like that.
Interesting.
In order to like compensate for the failings of their government.
Huh.
And like I feel like that gives a sort of freedom and possible peace of mind for certain like citizens of different countries who worry about inflation or different things. So yes, it's not regulated by the government, but is that necessarily a bad thing? I feel should be the question.
All right, interesting. All right. So then you were also talking about during our lunch discussion about the risks of getting into crypto, since it was, like you said, an investment. If you weren't willing to lose everything that you put in, essentially you should not get into crypto. So could you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that?
Just a sec. Also, to the caller that's also trying to call in, I can't set up a room for the two, so call back later. To the caller that was trying to call while this call was on, because I can't set up a conference call when they're both not on.
All right.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah, continue, Alfredo.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I feel crypto though, even though I said it gives a peace of mind in case of rapid inflation, or the death of a currency. It is very volatile. At least a lot of crypto is very volatile, especially since it's very much like investments and stocks, and it is very risky, and especially with as we've seen through Reddit and like we saw with GameStop stock.
Yes, I remember that craze.
Can have a great it can have a great impact on like these like fads to buy like crypto or do these kind of risky investments. And and speaking specifically about Dogecoin, actually, back when the GameStop stock was still like very early on, like in January, that's when I got into crypto. Doge was actually being pushed to be a second investment in place of GameStop. And
Interesting.
yeah, it was actually a part of the same movement around there, or at least its beginnings were.
Interesting. Okay. Well, oh, sorry. Did you have a concluding thought?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, no.
No, you're good. So then my last question to you was, should like young adults like us, or minors at least, or people in high school who kind of never really know about finances or business or investments or anything like that, should we, as the young future makers of tomorrow, get into crypto, or at least try to learn and understand this type of currency, since nobody really seems to be aware about it?
With the second statement of should we learn about it? Yes. I feel like a lot of people should gain knowledge, at least of what crypto does, what it is, and things of this nature. But whether they should themselves get invested, I feel like crypto, like stock trading, is not for everyone.
All right.
And like I said, it's very risky business. So unless you're willing to like get like stacks of 100s, throw it in a garbage can, and then throw gasoline on that, and then set it on fire. Unless you're not willing to do that.
Yeah.
No, because it is very much an emotional roller coaster, as the earlier gentleman said.
Yeah. All right, then.
So like,
the big plus to that is the end-to-end encryption. That's
the security behind it. Yeah.
That's the one thing we didn't touch on, but that was I think the big sell point on that. To keep the the encryption keeps the buyers and sellers anonymous.
Which is why a lot of people seem to use Bitcoin on the dark web. I didn't want to talk about that today, but just sprinkle it in there. Alfredo, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, it's a very, very
goodbye.
Cogent evaluation, I like to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for calling me.
All right. Is our second caller still on the line?
Well, no, our second caller bailed out on us, but do call back.
Yeah.
We'll attempt to hook you up.
Yep. All right. Well then, while they try to figure that out, let's move on to Bob Steele, an absolute radio legend, apparently.
We got our caller.
Oh, we do? Hello?
Charlie's on the line now.
Hello.
But
Hiya.
I just wanted to jump in and say that gentleman that was the young man, when he mentioned Venezuela, ask the adult in the room, is it Frank?
Yeah.
What does he think about mentioning Venezuela as, hey, that's a good way to go?
Not a good way to go.
I think Venezuela is kind of they don't even have toilet paper, people.
Yeah, they're in a bad way.
Yeah, we don't want to go that way, guys.
No.
So why don't I get off the phone and listen to Bob Steele?
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Anyway, so it was brought to my attention by Mr. Charlie that Bob Steele is an absolute radio legend. So I scoured the internet and thinking this man should have at least one scandal, one problem, one thing that has gotten him to be canceled in Gen Z's eyes. But no.
Continuing
this man
off of
was
that, we also have a
loved.
caller with us.
We do? Another one? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You're on the air.
This is Miss America.
Miss America.
Mr. Bob, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Hiya. How have you been?
Dr. Phil No Show that I called.
So what do you have for us today? Hello? Did we lose him?
Go ahead, Bob.
Did we lose him?
No, I should be here.
Oh, maybe his.
Joe Biden.
Oh, Bob, your phone's
Uh-oh.
breaking up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, your phone's cutting out, buddy. Call us back when you have a better connection.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
All right. Anyways, so like I said, this man has no scandal. I found websites upon websites just dedicating to him, honoring him. He's in the Radio Hall of Fame. I didn't even know there was a Radio Hall of Fame.
Oh, you
So,
bet. Paul Harvey's there too.
Paul Harvey. Is this another person I have to look into for next week?
You could.
Oh, okay.
All
No.
right.
Is that the game show
He
host?
was.
No, Paul Harvey
Okay,
was.
okay, I'm getting confused.
Wait, don't
now.
you mean Steve Harvey?
I don't know.
No, I got you. It's all good.
Yeah. No, I love it.
He was deemed the golden age of radio, and he was adored by so many. And he was just praised as he seemed to embody this spirit and energy, and just it was like I read word for word whenever you listen to his show. It was like a one-on-one conversation with him. How it was absolutely beautiful, and I'm kind of sad because I don't think I'll ever be able to reach that level of
or a
just.
different caller calling in.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hey.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Oh,
We
yeah.
can
Miss
hear-
America,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Very good.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
yes, we
breaking
can
up,
hear you.
Bob, but yes, we can hear you. Maybe.
Okay.
We can hear you
Alright.
say, "Can you hear me?" And then we can't
And
hear.
then
her.
we can.
Too.
This is an
Hello.
interesting
COVID crypt.
situation.
I got COVID crypt.
COVID crypt. What?
COVID cryptocurrency, I think he was
I
saying.
hope so.
Aren't you glad?
Yeah, aren't you glad?
Okay.
Oh, well.
Try us next week.
Try
Yeah,
us next week.
I'm
then.
so sorry,
We-
Mr. Bob.
We can hear you
It's-
sometimes, then it
Yeah,
cuts
it's
out,
just-
and then
it's
it's
going in and out, in and out, in and out.
Okay.
All right, anyways, continuing on. Steele was born in Kansas City, Missouri on July 13th, 1911. The articles I read about him had a common theme when it came to his personality, in that he was very curious and was a man who was fascinated with the radio from the beginning of his life. Apparently, he was a boxer at some point, raced motorcycles, and he also kept a journal about as he recorded each and every day of like all the fascinating things that he found every day. So, I don't know. I thought all of those things were very interesting. And with this time on the radio, I discovered something during my research was that someone would call him a wordsmith. Now, I'm being honest with you. This is how his son described him in an interview on the Journal Inquirer. If you guys want to go check that out. And honestly, maybe I'm new school because that word is very old school. Did tisk? Yeah, they're so focused in the studio
Yes,
that they
we
can't
are
even
trying
they
to
didn't
do
even get it.
something.
In
I don't know what
other
we're trying to do,
words-
but we're doing something. Yes.
In other words, I have never heard that before. And essentially, this man, I think he is the very essence and the very person and the values that I'm assuming that he had are the values that we as radio show hosts or people who have the opportunity to use their voice in the way that they are able to should be able to reach the standards that he did. I mean, reading on and on about how these people, they're in their car on road trips, how it was like you're sitting down and having a cup of tea with this man.
Oh, it was the wrong
How
one.
important it
Okay.
was. It's absolutely amazing. And is this a video on him?
Yes.
He was an
Interesting.
excellent announcer. He could read a 70-second commercial in 60 seconds and not make it sound rushed. But he could do it.
In 1938, Bob began hosting a new program called Strictly Sports. 5 years later, he took over WTIC's popular morning show, the G Fox Morning Watch, from its previous host, Ben Hawthorne. In 1950, the show was renamed The Bob
Nice.
Steele Show.
Yeah. No,
It's a
that's
long
another
history,
thing that
yeah.
he said. He could do everything when it came to radio. He could talk, say news, host conversations. And the thing about the word thing, when he was with the advertisement that they mentioned, yeah, the word a wordsmith, that's what he was. He was so particular about his words that whenever somebody would mispronounce a word, it would drive him insane, according to his son. Philip Steele, I'm pretty sure was his name. And I was just like, wow. And actually, from that same article I mentioned earlier, was that he said that this passion for words helped create the popular word for the day segment of his show.
All right.
Yes.
What is the word for today?
Oh, well,
Pick a word.
Would you
I
like to
have
say
it.
it after our
I
break?
have it. All right. After break, I
Okay.
shall introduce the word of the day in honor of Mr. Bob Steele.
And we'll be right back from our break.
Yay!
Yeah. We hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Am I supposed to hear him?
No.
No, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Sure. Yeah, we'll be back from break in about 20 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, we're in queue on the commercial. No. Oh, he's gonna hang up. All right.
And he's gone.
Okay.
Hello, and I am back with WSTU 1450 Martin County Heritage Station. And like I was saying, I was just going on this wonderful tangent about Bob Steele and how I truly do aspire to be with him. But we
do have a caller.
We have a caller
if it's
again.
connected properly.
Yeah, the pain in the you know what, Charlie.
Yeah.
So when you were doing your research, I was sales development manager at the Harper Current way back when Bob had his 50th anniversary, and I made a presentation to WTIC with another manager from the Current, and I brought the idea up, would you like me to do a section on him? And they said, great. So when you did your research, because I found it on the internet,
you did?
The Harper Current 50th anniversary section of Bob Steele. Did you find that?
Yes, and it was filled with all these letters. It was on hold on, let me find it. It was on the Hartford Current, and it was December 11th, 2002. And it was just letters upon letters upon letters.
Well, 2002, I was here working for the Stewart News, but
really?
I did a section on his 50th anniversary. I worked for the Current for close to 18 years, and I befriended Bob Brungis and all those people at the Stewart News. That's how you do it, guys. You network.
Nice.
So when my mother fell, my father called me. I said, okay, I'm coming. I drove down on a Friday and started working for the Stewart News on Monday.
Nice.
Well, the Palm Beach Post wanted to hire me, but I didn't want to drive all the way to West Palm. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I lived in Stewart. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
But anyway, so you never found that? Because I did, and I'm not good like you are on the internet. I mean, there was the cover of it, the 50th anniversary of Bob Steele, Hartford Current.
Yeah,
all right.
the one that I have is just remembering Bob Steele, and it was written in December 11th,
2002. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You tried hard, you know.
Yeah.
You're going to be an attorney anyway, you know. And when you are defending somebody who you know is a murderer, because you're so sweet, that's going to tear you up.
Oh.
But like Frank said, your job is to make sure that the guy gets a straight trial.
Yeah.
Like this guy Chauvin, that person on the jury, what a fool. I mean, he went on these BLM things and all of that.
Oh, I heard about that.
I mean, he blew the freaking trial. That's crazy.
I heard about that.
Because by rights, that gentleman, that I hate to even call him a gentleman, Chauvin, should get a second trial. That's because of that.
Or
idiot.
He might just get acquitted.
To say nothing about Maxine Waters. What a winner.
Yeah.
And let's forget about Mr. Biden because they were in sequester at that point. Well, oh well. So, guys, I love your show.
Oh,
Enjoy.
thank you. All right, then. Well,
all right.
Let me just bring in some theory of knowledge before we have to close today. And bye.
Bye.
And here's an interesting thing that Mr. Steele's son said, actually, about his father. And it was that he used to say that feelings are not as important as getting out a good product, which kind of attests to how he understood language and how he used language in order to create this environment that produced a good product, which then produced good feelings to those who listened to him, which I find is very interesting. And I really do like this perspective, since obviously we use language every day. We use language to have conversations, and we'll use language in order to understand the world around us. And within our theory of knowledge class, we had lessons on how language shapes our perspective of the world. In the sense that other languages, for example, have words that can describe feelings that every single person has experienced within their life. But the English language that I hope you're understanding me through lacks a proper word in order to express said feelings. So in honor of this legend, I'm going to do a word of the day, which is something Mr. Bob Steele implemented within his shows. And of course, I just have to add my own spin on it. So thanks to Google, the word of the day that I bring you is quintessence. And by Google, the meaning of quintessence is the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class or the aspect of something regarded as the intrinsic or central constituent of its character.
Constituents.
Yay! I speak 2 languages. That's my excuse. Anyways, this word, I didn't even know was the perfect example of what I was basically talking about before with language and different perspectives, is that according to Physics World, because this is just a random word I found on the internet from some random website. And apparently, the name has historical precedence in philosophy that quintessence refers to the 5th element after air, after earth, and fire and water. I don't even know there was a 5th element.
Apparently there is.
Right? John, you're very smart and sciencey. Do you know what the 5th element is?
Nope.
Okay.
It's a good movie title.
The 5th element?
Yeah, that is a movie, right?
It's what?
Yeah, that is. Okay.
What? 1997?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's about, though.
Guys, let's find out together what is the 5th element of nature. And that is space? Space? Space was the 5th what? Oh my goodness. Anyways, sorry. Distracted. We should do a segment on that. John, you're doing a segment on that next
on
week.
Space or
the
what?
The 5th element is space. It was considered as space.
Okay.
Guys, quintessence. Wait a minute. So, okay, if quintessence means the most perfect or typical example of quality or class, or the what?
Quintessential is a word that you hear often too, right?
No.
You don't hear the word quintessential? It means like the ideal explanation for that thing. Like she is the quintessential beauty. It's like the ideal. Quintessential. Quintessence is the root word for the quintessential.
Oh my goodness. No. You see, such proper vocabulary is not used within anywhere I go. So, all right. Well, then this idea of space was proposed by the ancient Greeks to also describe a sublime, perfect substance, as Mr. Frank just elaborated for us. And in literature, quintessence is the queen of a land of a speculative science in Rabelais's Guartana? So, or Gargantua?
I don't know what you're saying, but yeah.
You see, again, language.
All right.
This is beautiful.
What is your other language? Maybe you ought to
Creole.
Go or bring it up in Creole.
Quintessence? Okay. Let's see, guys. Okay. A quick thing. Never trust Google Translate because my Spanish teacher, actually, I took my IB Spanish test today. She would always say that Google Translate is so bad that it won't even get you accurate Spanish. So she just know right off the bat that you're cheating anyway. I don't know if that was just to scare us from not using Google Translate, but it's fine.
I don't know. I'm not that far, but it does come out fairly weird.
Yep. So, as you can tell, I am not as amazing as Mr. Bob Steele, and I cannot pronounce words as beautifully as I bet he took the time to. But just in honor of that quintessence, maybe next week you can call us and share your own word of the day with us and just elaborate on how language inspires us, connects us, brings us together, helps us shape culture, language, feelings, everything. And the word quintessence in Haitian Creole, as I am a proud Haitian, to close out, is escalance.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I've never heard that before in my entire life. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, sadly. All right, then. Somebody call in tell me your own word of the day next week, as we shall be closing out soon. All right, then. Enjoy. Have a happy Thursday. Stay safe as always. And tune in next week. Thank you for Alfredo for calling in, along with Mr. Charlie. Good conversation this week.
Sorry we didn't talk
About.
We didn't get a chance to talk.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah,
Mr.
just cutting
Bob,
out.
please
Please call
do call
back.
next week. Please. It is always an honor to hear you. All right, then. Bye-bye.
Bye.